What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Honest Tattooer podcast. My name is John Mesa, and I'm joined by my co-host, Matt Truiano.
Hey, how you doing?
And we have some very special guests in the house. But first of all, we got the homie G Money on the couch.
What's up, guys? Once again,
which got blessed with an all-new nickname, Allergy Money.
You know your boy's got allergies.
That was like the funniest thing all week, bro.
Who gave you that?
Matt Buck. It took him years to come up with that clever nickname.
I was like, bro, that's hilarious. Why did it take you so long, dude? And we have a very, very special guest today. So Megan, for the people that don't know you, know your name, full name, where you're from, how long you've been tattooing, and what kind of tattoos do you do?
Cool. So my name's Megan Chevatewa. I'm actually from Park Slope, but I work in Bushwick. I've been tattooing for almost 2 years, but I love to do like dark fantasy, gothic lady faces, spooky lady faces, things like that, or anything like horror, gore. I love it. But then I also do flowers and like pearls and gems, so I can juggle.
Awesome.
So it's fun.
Awesome. And you apprentice under a very good friend of ours.
Yes,
Yeah.
Nikki Simpson.
Yes.
It was great.
Yes. That's awesome. But we can't wait to hear about it. And with a lot, one of the, you were like, I don't know the buttons to press here.
Yeah, which one's a clap?
It's the one in the middle.
Oh, fuck off.
Here we go.
That middle, the other middle, the down bottom middle.
This one?
Yeah. And coming back, it's been a while. Joe Capobianco, I don't think you need any introduction.
Son of a bitch.
Fucking you can also fuck yourself. Fucking perfect.
We're like, it's the first one.
Let's keep it that.
Oh, welcome back, Joe. How are you, man?
Yeah, thank you guys for having
The
me.
last time we fucking did this shit, Joe, he meant to. What was it?
Oh, dude, I watched it.
Yeah, that was real, dude. I was like, oh, that
Why
was.
the fuck is he not the fucking boss? And apparently, he doesn't know what the fuck it is.
So, guys, I used to be the sound guy, but now we
man.
kind of changed places. So now the sound guy, the sound is right by Matt.
You were
Sound
doing a real
guys.
good job before that.
Yeah.
Sound guy's working with a bit of a fucking learning curve in the wrong direction.
The box just happens to be closer to me. I can't help it.
And
Put it on a fucking little pedestal.
but Joe, for people that have been living under a rock or just started tattooing,
Yeah, I was gonna say, for people who have been living under a rock or just been tattooing for the last 15 fucking years and not paying attention to anything going on in this trade. Yeah, my name is Joe Capobianco. I'm originally from New York, Long Island, New York, and now I live in New Haven, Connecticut. I own Hope Gallery Tattoo. We just celebrated 20-something years tattooing. I started tattooing in 1993.
in 1993.
Yeah.
Damn.
So I'm sure a lot of the people that are listening have not even been fucking born yet.
Yeah.
Well, Megan, when were you born?
95.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I wasn't going to say anything.
It's not horrible.
Of course not. You don't have to because there's about 3/4 of the fucking audience in the same fucking boat. So it doesn't really matter. So
It's been a lot of time. Well, how's tattooing these days for everybody?
who wants to start this fucking shit?
Go ahead, John.
It could be better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could definitely be better. The prices, everything is high. Everything went up. Wages didn't go up. And at the end of the day, tattooing is a luxury. And a lot of people don't have leftover money for a luxury. People would rather go out, have a good time, despite this like looming economy and crazy state of the world. I can almost relate that people rather have a nice dinner or lunch or brunch and spend $100 to $100+ a pop for a good moment like that than have and spend that leftover money on a tattoo. I feel, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like it's tough right now because a lot of people, you know, a lot of tattooers are feeling it right now. It's
How fucking doom and gloom do you guys want to go right out of the fucking
yeah, exactly. I'm trying to be Joe. I'm trying to be light with it, but
That was not light at all. That's G Money's light.
yeah. No, you know what? You know what is that we had this conversation the last time.
Mm-hmm.
We're fucking way past full. There's too many tattooers. There's too many tattooers and not enough clients to go around.
I don't. So, yes, I agree with that wholeheartedly. I think that one of the things that we're dealing with now is the fact that you've also got a lot of, like, you've got a bar set by the elite in our industry that have set these ridiculous fucking joke of a fucking standard that people have been fooled into thinking is the standard. And what I mean by that is like crazy fucking day rates, insane fucking policies when it comes to fucking booking appointments and fucking drawing fucking fees and all the other bullshit. And I think that, you know, they've almost set, while they've set themselves apart from the rest of us, they've also alienated a good chunk of the of our industry, like people like myself, maybe you guys, where people assume that you're that kind of a guy as well. You're that kind of a shitty asshole tattoo as well.
That's what people expect.
And everybody expects that's the way that's going to be. And I think that's a fucking joke, because it's like, it's not. That's not the way we do our business. And the fact that the ones that get the most amount of fucking coverage on social media, which tend to be younger, trending individuals, they kind of set the fucking standard. And I think that's kind of fucked, because individuals that have towed the line for decades are now sitting there going, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And again, I think I'm going to beat everybody to the fucking punch on this, because what I noticed last time is younger individuals look at what I have to say as just being like, well, what the fuck, dude? You're just old. Who cares what you think? But nobody realizes it's like, yeah, dude, I've walked in those shoes. You're now walking in my shoes.
Yes.
And by the way, you don't fucking fit. Go fuck yourself. You have no idea. You're trying to rewrite shit that we've, I really have tried so hard.
Yeah.
I have so hard.
No, Joe, it's like they really have no fucking idea of the realness of it.
They don't. And the fact that you got these people coming off like acting like Moses, acting like they know the way things are supposed to be. And if we're not following their example, they don't get their example is days old. Ours are decades.
It's the time, the tried and true things. Like, I think that something's wild about what we just talked about, right? Because you've been tattooing for about 2 years. So you started in this environment, you know? So what's like for you trying to start up in tattooing, build a business, and kind of restart your career at this point? Because when you hear from other tattooers that they're like talking about this, like, back in my day, things were real good, you know?
Yeah, I think it's been different. And I feel like I started up in a very weird time, because I started during lockdown, during the pandemic, during all of that. So it was trying to network, but not network, and trying to stay safe and doing all that. So it's still like getting your footing. But as far as like clientele, I definitely agree, like where there's certain standards where it's like, oh, but that's like trend versus something tried and true, where it's like, oh, for me, it's always been ingrained to like listen to the people that have more experience, because they can help you the most if they're willing to help you with that. So I like bug people all the time that have been like, you know, tattooing like 15, 20 years. It's like, oh, is this going to get better? They're like, yeah, if you're good, it'll get better. Like, it'll be fine. You just got to stick to your guns. And I feel like as far as like clientele and things like that, it yo-yos, because sometimes I'll have like a really good week and then it'll just be dead. But it's just a weird time. I just feel like it's such a bizarre time, because at one minute it's like, okay, I'm good. And then another, it's dead. But I kind of get it, because it's like if the economy is the way it is now, you know.
Well, let me ask you a question. How many days a week do you work?
I work 5. I just show up 12 to 8 every day. So even if I have an appointment, I'm there. But if I don't have one, I still show up. And then like walk-ins come and things like that.
I would clap to that.
I can't. I'm not even gonna bother anymore. Not even gonna try.
It's right there.
That's great. That's great. Just showing up.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. Like I've got 2 guys who do walk-ins. Most of my guys are there 4 to 5 days a week. But the 2 guys who do walk-ins are there 5 days a week. They're there fucking from 12 o'clock to 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
You know, or I should say 11 o'clock to 7, 8 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
How often do you guys work?
I'm 4 days a week.
You're 4 days a week, 1 tattoo a day.
Yes.
4 days a week.
Same.
Okay.
4 days
So
a week.
now I came in where I was 6 days a week. We did 2 tattoos a day. And they were either starting a tattoo or finishing a tattoo or fucking doing the entire tattoo.
I used to work like that.
And
Yeah,
again,
same.
we at one
Yep.
point,
Yep.
no, and again, at one point, we all did that.
That's
Yes.
right.
We made money. And again, I can't. So we made money hand over fist at probably a tenth of what tattoos are charging. Because at that time, I was charging $100 an hour. When I moved to New Hampshire, I went up to $150 an hour, and this was back in 2000. And that was 1 to 2 tattoos a day, 5 to 6 days a week, and you worked on average. You were in the shop at least 8 or 9 hours a day.
Oh yeah.
How many
Sure.
tattooers? And this is one of the reasons. And again, all the young kids out there, I don't fucking care anymore. You're wrong. If you're working 30, 20, 30, 40 hours a week and you're making your, $2,000 a week, whatever, it's nothing. It's nothing compared to what it used to be.
No.
And that was making less money an hour. You were working a little bit harder, but you fucking loved it.
If you remember, a few weeks back, we had Ed from Tattoo Armor on the podcast, and he was able to hook us up with a discount code for our followers. So Tattoo Armor is literally the best way to wrap your client. I've been using it, Matt's been using it, and it's just awesome. There's no mess, there's no glue, and it's just super comfortable. I hope you can try it for yourself and just go on to Tattoo Armor and use the code Honest Tattooer for 20% off your order.
After I got the chance to sit down with Matt and John on the Honest Tattooer podcast, the Force of Focus got amazing feedback when it comes to the Hello to Healed process, networking strategies, and most of all, creating your own personal brand and culture. So I want to give you the opportunity to take 15% off by coming to join the Force of Focus arena. Now, this is a community of high-achieving tattoo artists who are all here for one reason: to be around like-minded individuals who all want to grow not only in our personal lives, but within our businesses. We're going to walk with you side by side to build out every system you could ever imagine to not only ensure the fact you're on the right path, but how to be able to see your dream life and then achieve it. Now, I have a laundry list of artists who have been able to achieve their dreams, and if you're ready to do the same, click the link below and let's get a conversation going.
It wasn't about being a fucking artist. You were a fucking tattooer.
Correct.
You were doing tattoos. You drew everything that you put on people, or you just did cool fucking flash on fucking people. It was such a different fucking feeling.
Yeah.
It got more stressful the more you had to draw, the more you had to create, the more you had to be you. Which is fucked now because everybody acts like, well, I got to be like that guy. I got to do the no offense, man. I got to be the neo-track guy. I got to make my stuff look just like everybody. No, and again, no offense. I got to make my stuff look like everybody else's. And it's just like,
Oh, everyone's going to be offended.
Exactly. I've literally, I spent the last 3 years trying to be better, but in all honesty, man, it doesn't fucking matter.
It doesn't.
You know what I mean? But my point being is like, we work so much harder back in the day. I shouldn't say harder. We worked more, but we didn't care because it was a completely different vibe back in the day. And it was like, you were making technically less money an hour, but you were still making more money. If you went away, like I used to go to conventions. We were never booked before we got to a convention. You booked appointments when you got to the fucking
convention.
booth. Because the whole point was people were coming from all over the fucking country, all over the world, depending on what convention you went to. If you went to London, there were people from literally all over the fucking globe, all went to London. And I remember the first year I did London, Mickey was pissed because a lot of people booked before they got there. And the reason why he was upset was thousands of people showed up to get tattooed. And if 3/4 of the artists are tattooed, they're fucked. They're not going to get tattooed.
They're already booked. They can't attend to the people that are walking up there.
So after that year, I never booked a European show. I would go to the convention. I would put a little book out of fucking stuff, whatever, but we didn't do it the way kids do it now where they fucking put up a bunch of line drawings and they're fucking booked all weekend. We literally just walk-ups and whatever people came up, you fucking did it for them.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I will admit the quality or the amount of time spent on tattoos back then was dramatically different than it is now because we're not creating these masterpieces. You know what I mean? We're just doing great tattoos. We're just doing killer tattoos. For at the time, completely new to the fucking scene. Nobody saw those tattoos. Yeah. When I came on the scene, I was doing what I did and everybody dug it because it was something completely different. Now you do have kids that are, you got cats coming out there doing just crazy fucking, fine art, whatever. We'll see what that looks like in 10 years. But again, I don't want to sound, but the fact is, it's like, it's a completely different situation. And I get that the fucking playing field has changed, not for the better, in my opinion. And that's pretty much it. I mean, I don't want to shit on everything that's happening now. I really don't.
Well, I think that the most obvious sign of that is kind of like the introduction of like Instagram to tattooing. In the very beginning, we're like, oh, this is great. We have this platform that we can all use to share our work and people can see it. And now when you think about how that became something that we relied upon so much, and that generations of tattooers that now it's like the most negative part of tattooing, if you really think about it to a certain degree, because you need it to be able to create a business or to push yourself.
To me, Instagram to tattooing was it's what magazines was to tattooing back in the day, because it's the same scenario.
Yeah,
magazines set the bar. Like when you came on the scene, you sent your stuff into the magazines. It went out to the magazines. You had 3 months to kind of really showcase your stuff. And then the next 3 months would be another group of people. And it just kept rolling that way. And if you kept sending stuff into the magazines on the regular, your stuff got published on the regular and people noticed you on the regular. Now imagine an evil douchebag of a fucking editor who decides
what's going to go there, dude.
You don't get to, and the reason why I say this is because for the longest time, there was a magazine called International Tattoo. And I don't know if
I remember it.
So International Tattoo was one of the magazines that I'd never been published by until later on in my career. And I would send stuff to them like every single month. If I sent pictures out to every other magazine, International was one of the same magazines. When I moved to Connecticut, so I grew up in New York, moved to New Hampshire. I worked up there for 2.5 years, moved down to Connecticut. When I moved to Connecticut, now keep in mind, this is 6 years of me sending, or 8 years of me sending pictures to the magazines. I get to Connecticut and I'm working at Darkside Tattoo. I get one of the manager comes in. He goes, "Hey man, it's Chris Fouts from International Tattoo magazine." I'm like, "Cool, what?" I'm in the middle of tattooing. He's like, "Well, he wants to talk to you." And I'm like, and now keep in mind, I've never been published by them. At that time, it was 8 years, 9 years.
Oh shit, that's a while.
Yeah. And I'm like, "Cool, whatever, dude. Like, I don't give a fuck." And he's like, "Dude, it's fucking International." Like literally, he's like, "It's International Tattoo magazine. You're not going to take this fucking phone call?" I'm like, "Give me a minute." I fucking take my gloves off. I get up, I go in the back. I'm like, "Hey, how's it going, Joe?" And he's like, "Hey, Joe, this is Chris, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, "Yeah, cool, man. What's up?" And he's like, "Man, I really want to do a feature on him." I'm like, "Cool, whatever, dude." And I'm like a dick. I'm like, "I don't give a fuck." And he's like, "Man." And I'm like, "Dude, here's the deal. I've been sending fucking stuff to your magazine since I started tattooing. Well, since your magazine existed, which came out a couple of years after I started tattooing." I go, "You've never published a picture." And he's like, "Yeah, man." He's like, "Well, one of my editors didn't dig your stuff and purposely kept you out of the magazine."
Damn.
Oh,
that's Instagram. That's Instagram at this point.
Correct.
And they're not doing it because somebody has a gripe against you. It's a fucking algorithm. It's a fucking computer program that is deciding what our clients see, what our clients dig on, and what our clients are fucking getting. And everybody in this room, everybody out there right now, I'm pretty certain can fucking confirm that. Am I wrong?
Yeah. Oh,
No,
yeah.
Like, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me
yeah.
I'm fucking wrong. Right fucking now.
Yeah.
I know for a fact that there are going to be a bunch of people like, "Well, you're just fucking mad because your shit's not out there." And yeah, you're right. You're fucking right. I'm mad about that. The same way, although I will admit I wasn't that mad back then.
Well, the same way that they would be mad if their shit wasn't out there.
Well, because the whole thing was back then, there were 8 other fucking magazines, dude.
Yeah.
Who gave a fuck about International Tattoo magazine? Granted, it was one of the better magazines back then. You know what I mean? It was the magazine that everybody wanted to be in. But at that point, I was already in everything. And that's not me being egotistical or whatever. That's me just being honest. It's the truth. Like
Especially after 8 years, you're like, you guys go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Well, again, and you're right. It was a very short period of time. You're totally right. But it was one of those situations where it happened so fucking fast. You didn't care. You know what I mean? So you looked at it as like, whatever, dude. Like, I've already got stuff in magazines. I'm going to all kinds of conventions. Whatever the magazines aren't covering, I'm doing by going out there and meeting people and hanging out, seeing people, whatever.
Right.
So when I did get in International, it didn't matter the way it would have had I gotten in on the regular.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It would have been cool. Yeah, I got into the magazine. Cool. But to be told that, yes, somebody decided not to put your stuff in the magazine, that's kind of fucked. That's how I feel about Instagram. The problem with Instagram, yeah, there ain't nothing else.
There's nothing else.
Like, we have Facebook. Bring back fucking MySpace for fuck's sake, dude. There's no reason why we should be relying upon something like fucking AI, whatever. You know, dude, it's like, so what do we all have to do? We got to dance a jig before we show off our This is fucking silly, dude.
AI is literally like regulating
Bring
everything.
back magazines. Bring back the fucking magazines, whether it be digital or whatever. Support those things. If you're a tattooer, if you're a fucking fan, support something other than Instagram. By the way, that's probably going to get us all banned from fucking Instagram.
That clip will never get aired. I think the problem with that though is that
Instagram knows that I fucking hate it. Like, I talk shit into my phone every time. I'm like, "Fuck you, Instagram." I swear.
It's like, you will pay for this.
I tell you.
I did a boosted post. I believe that the only reason there is
bullshit,
to do a
by the
boosted
way.
post is when you do something incredibly ignorant on fucking Instagram. It kind of catches some traction and you decide, oh, I want to go viral with this, so let me boost it. How does that make sense? That's like advertising stupidity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And again, I get it. You know, there's a lot of people out there that are Instagram, I don't want to say famous, but Instagram savvy, that are going to say, hey man, Instagram's not for you. Instagram's not about your portfolio. Yeah. Instagram's not about...
If you want to play the game, just don't play it.
And I totally understand that. But our trade, and I say this in the most, in the most serious of ways, we need our own thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
because we're at the mercy of this outside force.
Is fucking insane.
Yeah.
There was a platform that came out a couple of years ago that tried that. What was that? Do you remember?
It was
a
Turo. Was it Turo?
No, it wasn't Turo. I feel like it started with a V.
So
Vero?
Yeah, maybe Vero. Something
It was
like that.
like
And
Churro,
it flopped. It flopped so fast.
It's because
it flopped.
I think part of it is the fact that it doesn't have. So here's the thing. At that time, everybody was afraid to walk away from their 10,000 followers.
Right.
You know what I mean? And at this point, does it really matter? You can have 1.3 million followers. And the fact of the matter is you can walk away from it tomorrow, go to a different platform, it won't fucking matter. Now there's a new platform out for artists, like for fine artists and pop artists, I guess. I don't remember what it's called. It just came out, literally.
Yeah.
Just came out.
I know what I don't know the name of it.
Dude, it fucking belly flopped because it went nowhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And again, if it was because Instagram bought it out and the people who created that platform are now millionaires, good for them. But I don't think that was the case. I think that nobody wants to leave a platform.
The one that they're comfortable with. The one that you know, once you get used to an interface, if anything's different, you're like, I don't want to waste my time.
But
what he's saying that people don't want to go from having a following of 10, 20, 100,000 followers back to zero and starting all over.
Yeah, but here's the thing. The best part about that is those people with millions of followers, guess what? Don't mean a goddamn thing.
Yeah,
it does.
Yeah. And the best part is, and again, I'm not meaning to offend any of my friends, I'm not meaning to offend any of my friends, but I got friends in California. I got amazing tattooers in fucking in Europe and fucking everywhere in the fucking world. And they are all sucking dick right now.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So the fact of the matter is, no matter how you look at this, unless you're riding the trend or you're riding some fucking bullshit, whatever, we're all in the same fucking boat.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody's making the money they used to. And if you are, congratulations, good fucking for you. But the fact of the matter is most of us are not.
No.
So at this point, now's the fucking time. You know what I mean? Like me, so, and again, I wasn't going to even bring this up. And I talked about this with you guys last time. I'm working on an app with my wife, Tom Strom and Jackie Sandy Lindstrom, which is basically it's kind of like a connectivity app. It's not a social media app. It's basically connecting clients to tattooers. Hopefully, with any luck, we'll be launching it, or the Kickstarter at least, in the next couple of weeks. But it's at least something done by our industry. This isn't something we were approached by Meta or some other bullshit company, which is, again, the biggest fucking shame with this industry. How many fucking pigment lines or some bullshit like I don't even know what the fuck the thing is.
The Everence.
Everence, whatever the fuck it's called.
God.
Like, dude, how many more of these fucking stupid shit products?
Scams.
Yeah, scams, full on.
Yeah,
and dude,
scams.
the crazy thing was, some of these products have gotten respectable fucking tattoos to back it. Like respectable tattoo.
They all get to cut a check. I mean, it's always money.
dude,
it's always money.
It balances into the advertising budget. If like, if they got like 50
easily
grand,
say,
they're like, oh, we're going to offer everybody $8,000. You're always going to say, yeah.
$8,000 for
And they'll
something
do it.
that these companies are hoping to make millions of dollars on. Black Dot, that stupid fucking
the machine,
dumb shit, dumb tattoo. You got tattooers backing that so they can put it in their shop. One of them is in this fucking city right now.
Yeah,
I know there was a Black Dot here already.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where it's like, okay, so you're going to back something that's literally going to take money out of your pocket just to make money on the back end. What happens to your fucking tattooers?
It's
people who work?
Yes.
They're not worried about the long term. They were just like, oh, fuck it. I know
But the fact of the matter is, fuck you.
Exactly.
How about everybody else that's in this trade? Like, there comes a point
They don't
where
care.
someone's got to be the one to fucking toe the line.
Yeah.
And again, I know I sound like a fucking broken record, but fuck everybody, dude.
Well, talking about social media, I want to read you guys something. And this is based on the idea of like everything we've been talking about followers and about just the culture of Instagram. And this article is, I'm going to just kind of skim through it, but it's called "The Follower as You Know It Is Dead." And it goes, followers as we used to know them are a thing of the past. Having worked for brands that prioritize follower count over genuine engagement and community growth, I've seen firsthand that numbers alone don't drive real success, which I think is 100% true.
Most certainly, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Today, it's not enough to simply accumulate followers. People are no longer interested in just following. They want to be inspired and they want to see a lifestyle that they can connect with. The old model of celebrity brands is failing because the focus has shifted. It's not about the celebrity anymore. It's about the lifestyle they represent. And when I buy something now, I'm looking for more than just a product. I'm looking for a piece of a lifestyle that speaks to me. Consumers today crave authenticity and inspiration. They want to see how your brand fits into their lives and makes them feel part of something bigger. The first step in modern marketing is to inspire, and it's about creating a compelling narrative and lifestyle that people want to engage with. So while the traditional idea of followers might be dead, the new follower is more engaged, looking for real connections and meaningful interactions. So let's shift our focus from counting followers to creating a community that values and shares our vision. Inspire your audience and they'll naturally gravitate towards you.
Okay, I'm going to fuck that in the ass right
What
now.
what a load of
I was
bio.
waiting.
Okay, no.
What a load of bio.
Okay, so know what that just said?
Yeah.
You like tattooing, yeah?
Yes.
You love the fucking lifestyle of tattooing, yeah?
That's what it is.
You know what that means? Pick up a fucking machine. Start tattooing.
Yeah.
That's the fucking world we live in. It's not good enough to just dig on getting tattooed. It's not good enough to just look like that fucking tattooer. Oh, you can tattoo
You
like that
can
motherfucker?
do it too.
Yeah. That's the problem with that mentality. It's no longer about, there's no line. There's no line there's no line to be crossed anymore. Oh, I can get on Amazon? Dude, there's motherfuckers calling themselves Scratcher. That's their fucking
Yeah.
They go by
Instagram
Scratcher.
handle.
They love it.
Yeah.
They love
And
it.
they're
What's your art? What's your style? I scratch,
I'm
bro.
a scratcher. I'm a fucking kitchen magician, bitch. Dude, in another day and age, motherfuckers would go to your house and break your
And they would
fucking
break your
hands.
Yeah.
They would break your hands.
Different time.
Break your fucking
You're
hands.
like, you're not gonna fuck people up anymore.
Yeah. Or you're not going to take my work by fucking shit up.
Exactly.
By the way, I don't mean to take it. So you should be talking because you're the fucking young person in the fucking and you should have more to say. Dude, because I'll talk all fucking night. And by the way, yeah, fuck what you just read. What you just read.
It was complete bullshit.
See, but
It was eloquently. It was eloquent. You know what it was? It was eloquent wordplay bullshit.
It's an eloquent way to say.
Yeah.
By the way,
Yeah, it's like, you know what?
You're
We're gonna
no longer necessary.
Yeah, we're gonna fuck you
Yeah, you're
softly
no
and
longer
slowly.
necessary.
but it's
With
And the
a
worst part is,
huge
it was probably
bumpy
written by
peg.
fucking AI.
who knows? Maybe it could have been. But overall, I think the most important part of what that guy's trying to write is that it's not so much about just the end product, but like, for example, people are obsessed with like seeing what's the behind the scenes of everything that you're doing.
Oh yeah. Oh, G Money. He makes sick trad tats, but you know what? He's not selling it enough. I gotta know what he's eating for fucking breakfast.
No, I don't think that'll be the case. But for example,
John,
wait.
I know it's just a joke, but you know I'm not far from the truth there.
No, but it's more of like, you know,
I can relate to him. He fucking loves eggs with chives on.
People want to relate with and I think that's something that's huge and part of just like the generational thing that's different, that the client wants to connect with you on a more personal level.
Dude, when have the clients of the past ever connected with tattoo artists?
I don't disagree, but this is the thing, right? This is the thing. It's a different generation of clients because they grew up differently.
The problem is there's no more mystique. There is no mystique. So, dude, when
that was the whole point about tattooing.
I remember, like, so back in 90, oh shit, it was 93. When we were sitting in it would be four dudes sitting in the fucking front room of the shop. And it was a corral shop, so there was only a knee wall between you and the clients. So you'd be sitting there talking about the day's events and talking about whatever nightmare shit happened. Somebody passed out, somebody threw up, fucking some bikers walked in, got beat up, got thrown out, whatever. Whatever dumb shit happened during the day, we're sitting there talking. The clients are out front and they're just listening to this like, what the fuck? Oh yeah, dude pulled a gun on me, fucking hit him with the sack, blah, blah, blah. Well, and again, that never happened to me. I'm not play acting at being a fucking tough guy, but it was that kind of shit. And they would just be like, and you'd have to be like, hey guys, it's cool, man. Like, just if you have any questions, just ask. But that was enough for them to be let in. You know what I mean? Now that's not enough no more. Because now it's like, well, dude, I already know how the fucking chest burster came out of the fucking alien guy in the fucking first movie back in the day. How do I perform? Hey, I want to do my own brain surgery on my uncle.
And I think that's the
problem.
Case.
So that's great. The problem being is it's fucked up because what it does is it's creating a group of individuals that are now feeling like, and again, they're not entirely wrong. I mean, the majority, you know as well as I do, the majority of tattooers are fucking hacks. You know what I mean? And I'll be the first one to say this. Anybody can learn how to do this. Anybody can learn how to do this. That is the God's honest truth. We live in that day and age. Mm-hmm. And that was like that from when I came into this. It's just about determination and making it happen. The difference is the standards have been dropped dramatically.
Big time.
Oh, sure. Big time.
And that's the fucking problem. Nobody told the line. Everybody looked at it as like, I'm going to bring in 12 apprentices. Why? Like, why? How much more fucking money do you need to make? If you were putting other shops out of business, that would be great. You're not. You're creating 12 apprentices. 9 of them, probably more, are going to leave. And what are they going to do? They're going to open up more shops.
They're going to multiply because and get another 10 apprentices because that's what they learned to do.
They're going to pull some bullshit. They're going to pull bullshit. They're going to do unorthodox methods.
Why wouldn't
They're not going to follow anything.
Why wouldn't they? Because they've been brought into this fucking business by a fucking bottom-feeding pile of shit. Now, by the way, most of you kids would be thinking like this: "Oh, he's gatekeeping. Go fuck yourself."
Like, they're giving us access. They're trying to help us.
So fuck off.
I'd be like, dude,
they're doing is they're lining their own fucking pockets with little to no care of where this business ends up. And again, you can look at what I'm saying as gatekeeping. What I'm doing is protecting the next 10, 15, 20 years of my career, which, by the way, does the same for you.
Yeah.
And the fact is, if you shit on what I'm doing, all you're doing is shortening your own career.
And you're going to come in and cuddle up in that same bed full of shit with all of us now.
Exactly. In 5 years, which, by the way, will be a lot shorter than my career was, where are you going to be? Again, it sounds like old man bullshit. You know what, man? Sometimes old people, they know what they're fucking talking about.
That's correct.
The wisdom is earned, bro.
Exactly.
That didn't just happen.
Yeah. You know, the best part is we all dreamed about floating fucking flying cars. They still don't exist.
Oh,
they've been dreaming about that shit since the fucking 40s, motherfucker. Yeah, you're watching Marvel movies and all we got is a Tesla fucking truck. Congratulations. You've come so far.
Yeah.
I don't
listen, Joe, I'm with you. Where the fuck are my hover cars? They're way overdue. I remember watching Discovery Channel like in the oh shit, I don't know, late 90s Discovery Channel, where they were talking about by 2010 we're gonna have flying cars. The cities are gonna be lined with new roads, infrastructure for these hover vehicles. I'll be like, what? Where the fuck are we right now?
The best the cities can do are fucking battery operated fucking car, like little scooters.
Yeah.
Which motherfuckers are just falling off and breaking their shits. So what the fuck ever?
Yeah, right now we're like, so everybody's fucking obviously getting desperate for money, and nobody's getting more desperate than the fucking vultures in tattooing right now. And the vultures, we all know who we're talking about. We're talking the people that capitalize on desperate souls trying to get into tattooing. Mm-hmm. And there's been many of them. We all see it. Some from time to time we call it out. And people are just fucking surprised when we start pointing the fingers and being like, you guys are helping fucking accelerate this fucking blaze.
You have to realize, like, that's literally so when I got into the business in 93, that was when the first boom of young apprentices happened. Because you had a bunch of guys that tattooing became a little bit more mainstream and a little bit more acceptable. Landlords were willing to rent to tattoo shops. So you had guys opening multiple shops. Like the guy who apprenticed me strictly because I was an artist. And it was something he hadn't seen. He was cool with that.
Yeah.
He also apprenticed like 3 other people in the same year. You know what I mean? So it was one of those things that was happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What we're seeing now is those people are now bringing in more people.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you are right. There are shops that are opening up that are run by non-tattooers. And I have never been against that. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, while I will talk shit about some non-tattooer shop owners, there are some of those people out there that do truly, I mean, because not for nothing, dude, most tattooers are fucking morons. You know what I mean? Like, you can say a monkey can tattoo. Monkey can't run a shop.
Right.
Monkey can't pay bills. Monkey can't fucking worry about whether or not the fucking gas turns off. You know what I mean? So there is something to be said for someone who can take care of people.
Yes.
You know what I mean? There's a difference between that and a bottom feeding pile of shit that is just trying to make as much money off of people as possible.
And I'm more specifically talking about to the point of the people that are trying to do these like quick, 1 to 2 or 3 month programs, however, how many weeks. I'm talking about these tattooers.
But again, but you've got individuals that are not apprenticing people. They're putting a machine in somebody's hand, giving them the basics. And
cranking them out.
They're not. And again, I get it. We live in a day and age where nobody has to make their own pigments. Nobody has to learn how to fucking use a machine apparently. But again, there's something to be said about learning on a coil machine and then knowing the goods and bads of that machine and then switching to something else.
Yeah.
But again, we're talking about, I mean, I would probably say 70% of the individuals that are apprenticing people are probably using rotaries. I mean, am I wrong? I mean, if you have a better,
none of them are using coils.
Like,
none of them.
You very rarely have individuals learning on like a proper apprenticeship, like coils, whatever. They don't know the difference between powder pigments, predispersed. Fuck, they don't even know what powders and predispersed means. No. You know what I mean? It's either eternal fusion or some of the bullshit. You know what I mean?
They also don't know anybody who's been tattooing like years prior, any of the tattoo legends. Dude, they don't know anything.
I walked into a shop, and I'm not going to say the shop, but I walked into a shop a few hours ago, and I walked in, and again, this is going to sound conceited as fuck. It is not meant to be that way. Okay, perfect example.
Let's go.
Yes.
Did you have any idea who I was when you came in?
Unfortunately, no.
Thank you very much. That's all I want to know. But the fact of the matter is, I used to be able to go anywhere in the fucking world, and people would. If you were a tattooer, you knew who I was.
Right.
Because not for nothing, I've got a hard silhouette to not miss.
Oh my God.
But the fact of the matter is, I went to a shop that is a traditional shop, and not one person when I walked in said a fucking thing. When I introduced myself, nobody had a fucking clue. I'm like, cool. Walked around, stung that for a half hour, talked to some shit, left. Now,
who's the older guy tattooer that just walked in?
I guarantee, dude. I was there for about 20 minutes before anybody said, "Do you tattoo?" Yeah.
Oh no.
Now, when I was back in the day, when somebody as heavily tattooed as I did walked into a tattoo shop, first thing I said was, "Oh my God, where are you from?
Yeah.
Who did your work? Like, look, can I see what you got?"
Yeah.
And not for nothing, dude. It's not like I got shit on me.
I still do that.
And
shit.
again, and I guarantee all the fucking trolls out there are going to look at it and be like, fuck this guy.
Yeah,
You know
for sure.
what? Go fuck yourself right back, because not for nothing, that fucking means something. When somebody walks into a fucking tattoo shop, whether they be tattooed or not, you give them your utmost attention. And if they're heavily tattooed, why the fuck would you not engage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Because there's a lot of history on there.
Exactly.
Yes.
Where are you from? Oh, who did this? What did? And dude, not for nothing, I've been tattooed by some fucking pretty fucking cool people. You know what I mean? And I've got more fucking non-tattooed people or more people who know nothing about the trade asking me about my tattoos than I have fucking tattooers. And again, I think part of that is clicks. I think part of it is like, oh, there's nothing traditional on them. Oh, I'm sorry. That does not mean it's a bad tattoo. Like, you can still fucking see it from across the fucking room. How are you not paying attention?
Yeah.
Like, I do it. I've been doing this for over 30 fucking years. If I see something on somebody, I'm like, oh, wow, who did that? Like, and to the point where I fucking was going to ask the dude behind the counter, I'm like, that's Chris O'Donnell. And I was going to say something. I'm like, nah, I'm not going to say anything. Then I'm engaging.
Fuck this guy.
Like, I literally got to a point where I'm like, I'm going to walk through here. I just got to get out. I got to get out because I'm getting more.
You're like, this is going to be more angry.
Yeah. It's not a good way to be. It's not a good way to be.
No, not at all. Not at all.
So, and again, that wasn't a shot, by the way. I didn't mean it.
No, not at all. We've been hanging. I know your intentions. You're fine.
You know what I was going to say, because you had mentioned that you had gotten an apprentice from that you were the apprentice for Nikki, and we were just talking about how Nikki's like, you know, like a real one.
Yeah.
And also very talented artist, and also has been around a lot of the history as well. So not everybody gets that opportunity and is so lucky to get an apprenticeship like that. So, you know, when you hear us like bitching and moaning and complaining about these things, you know, it's one of those things that it's like, I know you're also like in a state where you didn't come up in that world. You didn't like have to really like earn those stripes. And, you know, to hear us like really talk about it, like how do you feel about that? Like,
I feel like I've been really lucky to be around a lot of experienced artists with like 10, 15 plus years under their belt, and hearing them, it's like, just sit and listen. Like, listen to them because they know like what's up. They know how to guide you. And if you can talk to them and they are willing to give you just like a moment to speak about things like that, I feel like that's the most valuable thing you can take away. Because how else do you learn from people, you know, how you were talking about, where it's just fad stuff, or someone who's been through it, been through a lot of phases and knows like the beast of tattooing and knows like the ins and outs. And I feel like the main thing that I took away was, if someone that knows and is like super reputable, they have like tight work, you listen. Like, you sit and you listen, because they'll give you great advice on top of your peers, on top of everybody, because you need to like sit down and listen to other people as well as like have your own experience.
I think what you need to do is you need to like, and what you just said makes perfect sense. Yeah, totally. But I think it's like anything, like anywhere you go, any shop you walk into, any stupid TV show you watch, keep your eyes and ears fucking open, because there is something to be gleaned from the most inexperienced and most experienced of individuals.
Oh yeah.
Whether it be the way you handle yourself in the front room, the way you fucking whatever, you know, what you use to cut your fucking soap, any number of fucking things. There is so much to be gleaned. And especially now, more so than ever, because there are just so many fucking people in this trade, and everything changes on a daily fucking basis. I mean, I will admit, like, I mean, I've done the Explorer, I've done a bunch of dumb shit, fucking seminar things, sat in, whatever. Dude, you may sit there and sit there 9, 10, 15, 20 hours worth of shit and get somebody will say something, 15 seconds worth of something. You go, huh.
That clicks. Yeah.
You get that like aha moment. Like,
You sit back and go, I mean,
shit?
dude, and I can say, I can honestly say that it's happened almost every single time I've done one of those dumb. I'll walk away bitching and complaining about how much bullshit that stuff was. Mainly because of the money, and I think 20%, 50% of the people that are there shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and again, that's a whole.
Is it because it's like too advanced for them?
It's
almost
too advanced for them.
Yeah.
It's not. There's individuals talking that literally are not capable of speaking.
Gotcha.
They're not capable. I mean, dude, you get somebody who's like.
Not everyone can be a good teacher.
No, not even a little bit, dude. Like, I mean, I've sat in on so many things that like someone will say something. I'm like, is he fucking kidding me? Did he really just say that? Like, and you sit there and it's like, dude, what the fuck? You're not talking to a bunch of fucking 8th graders.
Yeah.
Like these people make a living doing what you do. Like, how are you breaking it down that simple? Like, granted, don't get me wrong. If the person out there goes, oh, I didn't know the globe and the fucking lighting and it's the fuck, dude. But I get it. They exist. They're out there. But that's not something you bring out to you bring out there, dude. You got to be a little bit more, you know, especially considering how much they're charging for this shit. I mean, shit, we just had that happen with, I mean, you guys just did a thing a couple of weeks ago. You know what I mean? The whole fucking Gia thing. It's like, dude, that's fucked. I mean, you need to fucking set the bar and you need to be above that fucking bar. Like, that's where we are right now. Things are so professional. And again, this is another thing that people aren't getting. Dude, when you're charging that kind of fucking money, there's going to be lawsuits, dude. There's going to be shit going. Dude,
there's going to be people getting fucking pissed.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
Like with everything back in the day, it was always a handshake and a fucking smile. Now it's like, oh, contracts and fucking, oh, it's fucking $10,000.
Yeah.
Look, man,
that's a lot of money, man, for anything.
I fucking blow a lid when I get a $60 parking ticket in the city. So if somebody stiffs me for like $8K or some shit like that, fucking on some tattoo school bullshit, dude, I'm gonna be fucking. Dude, I'm gonna come after you with everything that I've got.
You get burned on that, and I was just kind of like, oh my god,
I'm gonna come after you with I'm gonna fucking drag you through the mud.
But it's also the means you would go to see someone spend their hard-earned money to save up specifically for that. Just
I know.
God.
So here's the flip side of that.
Yes.
If you're spending that kind of money on that, you're a fucking idiot.
No, but Joe, we're back to the conversation with that I was talking about, is that there's a lot of people that are gonna see that, oh, well, there's a stigma because getting into tattooing used to be hard, and that was a good thing. Mm-hmm. But now people still have that in their minds, like, oh shit, I really want to fucking do tattoos. Like, you know, like they know nothing about the culture. They don't have tattoos. They maybe don't even want to get tattoos, but they want to express their art form like that. So they're looking for an inlet. I know, dude. I know it's fucking. I know, dude.
That's the rough.
And they're looking for an inlet. So when these tattoo institutions pop out, especially the ones here in the U.S., they're gonna, you know, that's kind of like the entry. That's like people will be like, oh yes, here's like
I think
so. Those motherfuckers are also preying on that eagerness from those people.
But here's the thing. People need to look at it from the perspective of buyer beware.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because not for nothing, if you're spending real fucking money like that, then there better be a fucking payoff.
Correct.
Like I said, I've sat in on a handful of things that I walk away, I'd be like, dude, I'd be pissed.
Yeah.
There's no fucking way I'd walk away from this and be like, oh, it was cool. Like, but again, we also live in a world where individuals have never left their hometown. They've gone to a different city.
Yeah.
They're hanging out with individuals that they normally wouldn't hang out with, which by the way, we all know. You go to any tattoo convention at the end of the night, everybody's hanging out in the bar for the most part.
Yeah.
You know, more so back in the day than now. But it's like, if you wanted to hang out, you just went there and you did that.
Yeah.
Like so recently, Eddie Deutsch was up in Rhode Island. I knew Eddie back in the 90s and I was like, oh shit, he's up in Rhode Island. Hour and a half drive. Drove up to fucking Rhode Island, hung out, talked the shit, you know, just
that's fucking awesome.
Because it'd been a long time.
So
take advantage of the situation. Tattooers are not fucking royalty. And if they're acting like royalty, they can go fuck themselves.
Right.
Which, by the way, I get it. They're not for nothing. We live in a world of ink masters.
I always
and
fucking say that. I'm like, we're just tattooers.
Just guys.
Exactly. But the problem being is how many tattooers do you know take advantage of that?
Yeah.
Like, dude, when you got like conventions going on and they're like, oh, we've got such and such at our convention. Who fucking cares? Really? Really? She's doing how many fucking tattoos?
I'm always like, do they have
overcharging for a bunch of bullshit? Like, give me a fucking break, dude. She's a mediocre fucking tattooer that is willing to say and do anything. Not naming names, but we all know what I'm fucking talking about. You know? But the fact is, like, we live in a day and age where it's like, just wake the fuck up.
Yeah,
Open your fucking eyes. You're willing to consider the fact that your tattooer isn't capable of doing what you want to do, but you're going to put that person on a fucking pedestal? Give me a fucking break. Like, think. And again, this is part of the problem with social media. This is part of the problem with fucking algorithms and bullshit. Things are projected out there that people are looking at like fucking dumbasses. Like, they're looking at the Hypnotoad going, It's like, that's what they need to fucking focus on. And that's bullshit. Like, think for yourself. Get away from the fucking algorithm. Get away from the bullshit, you know? Wow, I'm getting dark, dude.
I'm just hearing a lot of boomer talk.
Oh my God.
You say that, that's exactly what's going to come up.